Okay, I admit it. I can't make up my mind. I had started looking at factors of the Nintendo DS that make it look more appealing than the PSP. But I need your input, and I need honest input. So I decided to compile a list of what is important to me when looking at a gaming console. As a visually impaired student, yes, the screen is important, but if the pros outweigh the cons, once I give them to you, I might be able to adapt. I need some input on that as well. So the screen size is important. For those of you who may not understand, just try and think if I had 2100 vision. In other words, if I could see, okay, across a six-way intersection, okay, 3 lanes in each direction, you cannot clearly make out the street sign. You know there's something there, but you cannot make it out. You see better, you see closer things better when you take your glasses off, but you still have to get close. With these in mind, help me make a judgment on the screens. Okay, because I have very little experience with either one, though I have higher hopes for the PSP screen. But that's just one thing, okay? We need to take into account everything. So I'm going to give you a list. Now, before I go into this, let me explain. Every summer, the family takes a cross-country trip. We fly. In total, from start to finish, we are traveling for, I would say about, from the time we leave this house to the time we arrive at our house up at our summer house, we are have been traveling for about 10 to 12 hours at least. Thus, the following items are important to me because, again, I travel every single year, or have been traveling for every single year, and I hope to continue that. Portability, easy to pocket and carry around. Basically, I want something where if I don't have room for it in my backpack, I can just slip it in my pocket alongside my wallet. Durability, can withstand summer travel. Now again, you'd have to take into account the time out and the time back, and we fly. We'd have to basically, you know, it's a long time, 10 hours, 12 hours. Easily protected from dust and dirt, and some of you guys are probably saying by now, you know, shut the hell up and get yourself a case. Well, you know what? I mean, the cases that I've seen, okay, the cases that I've seen, the hard plastic ones are really big, a lot bigger than I'd expected, and the smaller ones are made of a material where I'm questioning their durability. In other words, if it gets bumped around, what are the odds of something being knocked about, particularly with the universal media discs? Same goes with dust and dirt. That also affects the universal media discs, which happens to be the most fragile part of the system. Well constructed. I have a little bit of an issue carrying heavy loads. Just this past summer, I accidentally dropped my iPod in the concrete outside my summer house. Thankfully, those things are indestructible, so everything was working all right. I'm just wondering which of the two, the PSP or the DS, would be able to stand up to such accidental, I wouldn't call it abuse, but accidental action. And keep in mind, this doesn't happen very often, but when it does, I usually go nuts. Battery life. Again, like I said, we travel. Also, I'm used to having to charge my Game Boy once every couple of weeks because I only use it for short games. I don't really use it for extensive gameplay because of my vision. I usually use it for short 10-minute bursts. But I'm used to being able to charge my Game Boy every couple of weeks because of the excellent battery life. So I would need something that would be able to stand up again. The big thing, the absolute biggest thing I was thinking of was how well would it stand up to the summer traveling. Also, I'll be transferring in about 2 years to an out-of-state university and thus flying a lot more often. And, you know, I want to have something that can last a long time, even under regular travel. So the battery life is very important. And I know that you can get expanded batteries for the PSP, but I just don't know. I think they would cost quite a bit more, and they would cut down on the portability. But again, this is why I need your input. I need to confirm all of this. Finally, there's the gaming library. Now, I have gotten interested in certain titles for the PSP, particularly the GTA series. There's also Cube, which I'm not sure if that's available for the DS. There's also, obviously, a PlayStation Classic. It's Ratchet and Clank, that series. You know, I'm interested in titles from both ends. But, you know, like I said, I'm trying to come up with a list of pros and cons, and so now you know what's important to me. Your input would be greatly, greatly appreciated. I wanna hear from owners, okay? I want to hear from people who have actually owned the system. And I know that a number of people who have commented on my past videos have owned the system. So I need some input regarding my various needs and what is important to me. Well, thank you for taking the time to listen. I appreciate your feedback. Thank you in advance for your help. I look forward to your responses. Have a nice evening.